Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 World channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. Welcome back yet again everybody. It is a lovely Sunday today. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this really chill weekend right here. And this video right here, this is another real versus clone comparison, guys. This is a popular series, honestly, within my channel. Some of the views here are actually more than my niche reviews. So I do know that there's a lot of y'all that really expect these to keep coming, and I do promise they will. But this one right here is a long time coming. I'm so excited to talk about this because this is about a very nostalgic perfume that I really used back when I was younger, when I was in college and high school. So I'm sure that for a lot of y'all that have used this, you probably will want to watch this video because this is about the OG and the clones. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, guys, and it does help us procure a lot of these samples and make a lot of these videos, guys. So please continue to support the channel. I do appreciate it. All it takes is a couple of clicks. Now, the fragrances that we will be talking about today, we've got 3 today, guys. We've got the OG, the original fragrance, guys, that I will be talking about. I'll break that down real quickly. And then I will be talking about the widely popular clones of this difficult to find OG that, like I said, was part of the nostalgia of the past, okay? This is none other than Abercrombie Fitch Fierce. Yes, this is Fierce, the OG bottle with the red lettering, guys. I believe at this point, this bottle right here is expensive. It's hard to find, almost impossible at this point. Now, this OG bottle right here of Abercrombie Fitch Fierce with the red lettering, this came out back in 2002 originally, and that makes this scent a 20-year-old scent, guys, okay? So why are people still looking for this bottle, guys, okay? Maybe it's the collectability or the nostalgia, but also it's because over the years, Abercrombie basically watered down this scent and reformulated this scent multiple times to where the actual Abercrombie scent, and I'll describe that a little bit later, actually lasted with these new formulations like 1 to 2 hours, guys. So the current formulations are pretty horrible, and so that's why a lot of people are still looking for this OG bottle right here. Now, before we continue with this review, let's spray some precious drops of this OG right here to really bring back all the memories. Okay, guys, let's talk about Abercrombie Fitch Fierce, shall we, guys? Let's talk about why this fragrance was so big back in the day, and let's talk about why it's important right now. This fragrance was awesome back in the day because of the familiarity of this fragrance right here. I mean, the scent, you cannot mistake it. It's the classic signature Abercrombie scent that if you went to the mall, at least, you didn't have to smell it from somebody else. If you went to the mall, you went by Abercrombie or Hollister, you would know this smell right here. It's that signature Abercrombie smell that everyone knew. And even if you go back in time, back in like 2002, guys, although the internet was already out there and people were using the internet, people still flock to the malls more rather than, you know, staying at home and like playing video games. A lot of people actually were a lot more social back in those days, a lot of college parties and whatnot. And so this scent, I mean, if you didn't catch it in the mall, you would catch it off of somebody else, especially if you went out, if you partied, you would definitely smell this scent without a doubt, and there was nothing that smelled like it. And speaking of uniqueness, guys, at that time, Abercrombie Fitch, this smell was also pretty unique. So not only was it familiar, but it was also so unique that there weren't really any other perfumes that had the same smell. This one had woodsiness, this one had sweetness, this one had the right amount of spice, as well as aquatic notes that made it mainstream lovable, guys. And it's all combined to make this really signature Abercrombie scent that everyone really knew. You know, you could probably compare that to the Dior Sauvage of today. However, nowadays, not a lot of people go to the mall. A lot of people nowadays just spend time at home, actually. And back in those days, you know, early 2000s to 2010, people literally flocked to the mall. A lot of people loved going to the mall, and they wanted to be seen, to see and be seen. And you know, this Abercrombie thing really blew because everybody was wearing it, and then you had the store smelling like it as well. And so it was very familiar, very unique. A lot of people really liked it. Now, the third reason why this was big back in the day was a combination of clout and the actual smell being effective, guys. So this fragrance right here, I mean, if you were in high school, college, or if you were like a young adult back in the day, guys, you would know. I mean, this probably was your lady killer right here. This was the one that probably reeled in the ladies. And it's a combination of the actual scent being spicy, and it's like a draw in, it's very intoxicating with the aquatic notes. But then also this was associated with the popularity of the brand, so it's also the clout of the brand. I mean, back in the day, I remember LFO, they even made a song about Abercrombie, and that really blew over. I hope they got paid because of that. But because of that, like, attractive men, attractive women started wearing Abercrombie. We're talking about the whole look. If you went to a bar, a college party, a house party, or maybe even a nightclub back in those days, you would remember that a lot of the attractive people were wearing Abercrombie. Day or night, guys, okay? We're talking about the button downs, the polos, the ripped jeans, maybe even the sandals, right? The brown sandals right there. A lot of people, the attractive people, from guys to girls, were wearing Abercrombie and were wearing this fragrance right here. So it's really the association on top of the scent that made Fierce really an unstoppable, overwhelming force back in the day, guys. Okay, so that's what made Fierce really great. Hopefully I brought you guys back in time to explain to you what made this a pretty great perfume. Now fast forward 20 years later, and you know, at this point this bottle is impossible to find and expensive. I don't think it would be worth spending a lot of money to get this bottle, to be honest. But you know, 2 years ago when I started this channel, that's when I found out about the appearance of clones, okay, or clone companies for perfumes. And that really blew me away because it was really cool seeing these companies recreate these discontinued fragrances, or these really OG fragrances like Fierce, as well as already popular fragrances. And then they would also mark the price point at below like $80. So these clones not only had the feel of the older perfumes or discontinued perfumes, but they were also very affordable just to the average consumer that didn't want to spend like $200 to $250 for a scent. And so that is what made these clone companies popular. They're still popular right now. And so in came the pretty much the only Abercrombie and Fitch OG Fierce scent back in those days, and this is none other than Dua Fragrances #Fierce, okay, or I'll just call it Fierce. Dua Fragrances Fierce. Now, Dua Fragrances Fierce, this fragrance clone of Fierce, really enjoyed a huge monopoly over the years. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if this fragrance is like a top seller for Dua, or has been a top seller, because from my memory, this one would always sell out every single damn week. People really wanted this Fierce version right here of the OG Abercrombie Fierce, and a lot of people wanted it because of the power, the strength. And then this year is when Alexandria Fragrances came up with their own clone called Ferocity. Okay, so Ferocity came out recently, okay, and is now kind of challenging the monopoly of Dua Fierce right here. Now, when it comes to the return of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, the OG smell, into these clones, there is a handful of very important considerations that I think everybody is waiting for before smelling this scent. Number one is going to be that OG A&F Fierce scent, okay, and this scent is comprised of the following notes. You are going to get fir, which is a sweet and woody and somewhat camphorous scent right there. There's slightly medicinal aspects to the fir. You are also going to get cardamom, which is your cardamom sweet spice. And then you have the marine aquatic notes. And then there's orange, guys, okay? There's orange right there as well. Now, there is a citrus component. There is some citrus right here, a glistening citrus that you will smell in the beginning, probably the first 10 minutes of Abercrombie Fitch Fierce before the wave really begins of that fir, the cardamom, aquatic notes, and orange. Before they all take over, you're gonna get a slight citrusy, uplifting, glistening feel with this OG right here. Now, the second consideration is performance. Okay, it's performance because back in those days, we had this feeling that this fragrance was beastly. This was a room spray in the Abercrombie stores and it was a conqueror, okay, whenever you wore this. But I would say that this legend of this fragrance being super beastly and room conquering, in my opinion, guys, this is subjective, okay? This is subjective because the OG Abercrombie Fierce scent to me lasted 12 hours significant scent. And so if you were at a party or you're in a classroom smelling the Fierce scent maybe all day, I mean, it could be either this one lasting 12 hours or maybe people reapplied it or maybe people used it on clothes. And I heard that if you put it on clothes, it lasts a lot longer. And also it could be multiple people wearing Fierce, guys, okay? But to me, the OG, it lasts very, very good. 12 hours significant scent, but I wouldn't say it's the 24-hour scent that people kind of think it is. I really think it's because of reapplication, clothing application, as well as multiple people wearing it as well. This opening right here is the most important part, guys. I think that this is the most important part that the clones must copy because this opening right here is the most familiar one. It's intoxicating. It smells mainstream great because of the aquatic marine notes and cardamom, and it smells highly unique because it's got that camphorous, somewhat medicinal smell on top of the spices and aquatic notes care of the fir, okay? So it's really, really unique, guys. I will say that both of the clones do have this smell, so you don't have to worry about the OG Fierce smell being or not being into any of these clones. Now, one thing I'll say about the opening right here, the OG Fierce does have some slight nuances that make it a little bit different from the clones, and that is your separation of notes. You can really smell the separation of the citruses and the petitgrain. It's actually smoother, in my opinion, than the clones. This is the smoother one compared to maybe Duo Fierce, for example, because you are gonna get like little hints of that petitgrain. You're gonna smell the citruses, the lemon, as you are getting that blanket of that OG Abercrombie smell. So that's one thing I'll point out, is that from start to the end, you're gonna get a lot more note separation with the OG right here. Now, as I continued to hack Fierce and to really understand the note breakdown of this, like I realized why Fierce was such a lady killer, why it was such a seductive like panty dropper back in the day. And it's because the draw-in part of this is right here in the mid, okay? So as you are smelling the mid, where parts of the opening kind of bleed into the mid because the opening turns into a curve, guys, okay? When it comes to that camphorous fir and the cardamom, these are all curved notes, guys, and it curves out the glistening citruses as well as the aquatic notes and kind of buries over it. It does go into a draw-in type of mid with the notes of rose and jasmine and spices like sage. I mean, this is really very inviting, guys, and it's such a really slick way of transitioning into the mid. And I guess now I know why, you know, back in the day, you know, a lot of women really came in close and would smell up to your neck because there's that draw-in quality. There's that subtle rose with white florals, and then you've got sage, you got aromatic spices right here in the mid. Now, headed into the dry down, guys, of the OG Abercrombie Fierce, I mean, it gets woody and musky. I really like the fact that they got rosewood right here as a woody note that has continuity from the rose. Again, you won't feel really those transitions unless you really hack it, guys. But it gets absolutely woodier right here in the dry down, and then you've got sensual musk, you've got vetiver and oak moss. I mean, it is a lovely ending right here. And why I think this is so effective is because you still have the sensuality of musk and rose heading into the dry down, but then you still have the woodiness and the oak moss kind of keeping it balanced and upbeat. So it's not completely a fade to black. It's a balanced dry down to where, like, you know, you could be at this part at maybe the end of the party and you could still like meet another new person and attract them with this type of smell that's pretty balanced. Now that we've talked about the OG, we've taken a trip down a memory lane. Let's go talk about Dua Fierce, shall we? So Dua Fierce, this one right here, guys, I have owned this sample for more than 6 months. Okay, so let's not talk about the maceration thing, okay? I've owned this for quite a while, and I will say this fragrance came out really during the Dua Power era, I would say, because I think like last year, the Duas were more on accuracy rather than, you know, the power part. And I think in the beginning, you know, Dua's marketing and their prowess was mostly on the power, and that makes sense because, you know, that's what catches people. It's the unbelievable power of these Duas, and this was really born during that time. This one was created during that time, and I will say this, that is exactly what you will get right here. It's a lot of power compared to the OG, which has a smoother opening. This one right here is it's a punch, guys, okay? It's a punch of that OG Abercrombie smell. And the difference really is that in the OG, guys, the OG Abercrombie smell, the thick blanket, if you will, of spice, aquatic notes, and fur, it actually comes out 5 minutes later. So the OG has that glistening citrus, it has that petitgrain, you can really smell those. It's a lot crisper before the wave comes in. But right here, guys, with Dua Fierce, it goes straight into the wave, and that wave is strong. It's got a lot of cardamom, guys, and it's a lot more spicy, a lot more medicinal. But hey, that's exactly what you guys want. Just don't forget about that. I mean, right here, you are going to get the immediate OG Abercrombie scent in a huge amount with that Dua power right there. That is what you can expect right here with #Fierce. Now, the thing about this Dua Fierce that is consistent with all the previous Duas that I have reviewed from this era is that, of course, the intro is tweaked for power. It is tweaked for power, guys. So you are gonna get a stronger burst of everything. Cardamom, aquatic notes, fur. It's a lot stronger right here in the intro. And one thing you'll see also in my previous reviews is that eventually, though, this all settles down within 15 to 20 minutes, guys, okay? So 15 to 20 minutes, this strong push settles down, and the actual clone does match then the original, okay? It kind of catches up. I keep saying that. It catches up in 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, Fierce or #Fierce catches up with the original. But one thing I will say that I liked about this one was that this one was noticeably stronger throughout the entire lifetime of the fragrance. Now, let me remind you that the OG Fierce is not a slouch, okay? It is strong. It does have a significant scent, guys. But this one right here, guys, I mean, the strength is just, it's just double of that. You know, it's much, much stronger. And the longevity is past the OG Fierce. I mean, easily over 15 hours with a stronger significant scent. And this aligns with the legend of Fierce. You know, the talk about Fierce being this absolute room conqueror that lasted 24 hours. Well, this one lasts over 15. So this one kind of aligns with the legend of Fierce right here. So I think performance, guys, and strength, these are the facets of #Fierce that is very, very likable right here. And of course, it won't be as smooth as the OG, and the OG might be crisper with more note separation. But again, we're going for nostalgia here 20 years later, and you will get absolutely that nostalgic smell by Fierce. Now let's talk about Alexandria Fragrances Ferocity. This is the new clone that came out this year to kind of challenge the throne of Dua #Fierce. Now this one, you saw me do a first impressions video, and you saw that I was pretty impressed I was pretty happy with it. And that's because, yes, it also does deliver that OG Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce smell. But also one thing I noticed with Alexandria Fragrances Ferocity is that it does have a slightly woodsier approach than the others. Okay, this one is woodsier. It's more dry and woodsy, and that's probably an increased fur amount of fur right here, guys, on the opening, but it's definitely dry and woody. And to me, the reason why I said that this is the signature Abercrombie smell is because it does remind me more of the room spray rather than spraying the cologne. Okay, and you know, for a lot of y'all, that is the more recognizable one. It's when the fierce smell is already on the clothes, it's on the store, it's on the furniture, guys, it's in the air. That is what makes it recognizable. Not really the citrus part of the intro, it's more of that dry part, and that is what Ferocity basically does. And Ferocity is the clone that whenever I'm around people that are of the same age or they're from the same era, this is a lot more recognizable. Okay, people do go, oh my god, are you wearing Abercrombie? I haven't smelled that in a long time. Oh my god, it's Abercrombie. It's Ferocity, guys. And that's because, like I said, people were more attuned to the room spray, in my opinion, than the cologne itself. Now, the other noticeable difference right here with Ferocity is that it is smooth, guys. It's actually a slow starter with the aquatic notes slowly intensifying as it goes, guys, and you get to see a little bit more note separation as opposed to the Dua, which is really a powerful punch of that OG Abercrombie smell, guys. Okay, so this one right here is a lot smoother. It does remind me more of the OG in terms of the smoothness, and that is what you can expect with Ferocity right here. Now, the thing about Alexandria Fragrances Ferocity is the performance. Now, this fragrance does have a beautiful sillage, guys. Again, people around me, they would know that it's Abercrombie. It does smell great. It's a strong sillage comparable to the original, guys. And again, it will remind people around you that it's the room spray because it's a lot drier and woodsier. But the thing about Ferocity is that the performance, when it comes to the longevity, this fragrance only lasts about 8 hours significant scent. That's the thing, okay? 8 hours significant scent, which is really good. It's good enough. It's good enough for me, but it's not going to match the legend of, you know, Fierce lasting 24 hours, okay? So you might have to reapply this if you want it to last like literally all day, all night right here. So I would say it's decent. 8 hours significant scent. It's just not gonna match the Dua, which is at like 15 hours. Now, what Alexandria Fragrances Ferocity lacks for in the longevity, it does make up for in the price, guys, okay? So price-wise, Alexandria is a winner because the Dua, guys, I don't know if it's more limited now or what, but from the last time I checked the price, Fierce for 30 ml was $55. $55 for 30 ml. And the Alexandria is 100 ml for $69.99. Whoa! $69.99 for 100 ml, guys. So the price is definitely gonna be, you know, the contention, the price as well as the amount. Because again, 30 ml of this, yes, it is the powerful one, but it's gonna be $55 for 30 ml. Now this one right here, I'm sure you can compensate with a lot more sprays, you know, but when it comes to the price, I think Ferocity is the winner right here with $69 at 100 ml. But again, guys, there are some noticeable differences, guys, with the two, the Dua and the Alexandria. Again, if you listen to what I've just told you guys, maybe you can make a decision on what you guys want more. Either way, bravo to Dua Fragrances as well as Alexandria for bringing this scent back 20 years later, guys. I mean, that is amazing. I am so thankful that I can smell this Abercrombie scent whenever I want and still enjoy a pretty decent performance from both guys. And really, guys, like I said, it's not worth buying the OG for an exorbitant price. I would say listen to this review and kind of balance what you're looking for in this scent and, you know, try them both. It's only very, very cheap to try these two fragrances right here, the clones. And again, I'm very thankful they're back. And again, let me know in the comments right here. I would love to know your feedback on these two guys. Which one did you guys go for? I'm sure that if you're into clone fragrances, you probably already tried both. What do you like better, guys? Fierce or, you know, Ferocity by Alexandria Fragrances? Let me know. And if you want to share some nostalgic moments that you had wearing the OG Abercrombie Fierce, let me know on the comments below as well. I would love to talk about this, the good old times back in the day when we were in high school, college, or young adults wearing Fierce. Let me know about your stories on the comments below. I would love to know if this was your lady killer back in the day, because it was surely mine. Let me know in the comments below. And again, please do not forget to like and subscribe. And again, that is very helpful. We are almost headed to 13K, guys, so please continue to support the channel, and I will see you guys on the next video. God bless, take care. I'm back to work. Peace.